gentlemen, and all variations thereof. I apologize for my tardiness. I am a little late this evening. Me and my partner got caught up talking about budgeting of all things, and then we had to have dinner. So I'm a tad bit late this evening. Apologies for that. But welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, to the Thursday stream. It is a Thursday once again. We are back in Space Engineers. We are back for some build v build versus Lying. Eventually versus Lying. Lying will be here at some point. Obviously is going to be here in about 45 minutes-ish. Hey Dragon Reaper. A streamer late? Never. You're always on time. I mean, I try. I am a little worried about the fact that my kilobytes a second are dropping badly. Hold on, let me check something. Sending. Because that's there. Shouldn't be. No, seems to be fine now. Okay. Weird. Anyway. A little bit worried about the 2.8% drop frames, but never mind. Yes, welcome everybody to the Thursday stream. Let me turn it down. There we go. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Thursday stream. Today's stream, we're going to take a look at this, which I'm very happy with. Very happy with this. Hi, Luca. Why are you going you? I know I'm late. Don't call me out on it. What's up? But yes. Today we're going to be doing a build v build versus Lying. Lying will arrive in about 45 minutes. Until then, we have some time to mess around. Hey Lying. Nothing, I was just being menacing, I guess. Fair enough, Luca. You get to be menacing. You get to be menacing as a treat. Anyway, before we go and mess around with cargo ship designs, let's take a look at this. So, for those of you that do not remember, or were not there for it, this is based on... Oh, that's upside down. This ship here. So, this is the Mercy's Hope dropship. It comes equipped with 4 fixed weapons and 2 turrets. One on the top, one on the bottom. It has hydrogen power, oxygen. It has a fully pressurized interior with seating enough for 12 people. It has a survival kit, and it has enough seating up front for 2 people. So 2 people can sit up here and manage things pretty well. And that was all well and good. I was pretty happy with this. It didn't look too bad. It had enough thrust. It was generally pretty good. However, it wasn't good enough. So, a few of the complaints that I had with this ship. It was a little too wide. There was a lot of width. And I wasn't really happy with the layout of the thrusters underneath. And it was a little hard to get into. Like, this was quite high off the ground, the entry door, and also, like, there was so much additional unused space in here that I wasn't happy about. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and redesign it. So, now we have this. So this is the Auriga class dropship. Auriga being the Chariot constellation. As many of you know, a lot of my ships in Space Engineers are based on constellations. There we go. So yes, this is the Auriga class dropship. Now, this has 2 fixed weapons, because I couldn't really fit any more than that. It has 2 turrets. However, one is your standard autocannon turret, and one is a custom-built turret using a turret controller system. It has adjustable wing pieces for landing and general flight. It has ladder pieces on the side. These are not ladder pieces, they are neons, but they look like ladder pieces, and that's what counts. You have the landing locks on the wings and another landing lock at the back, so that unlike this ship, this one can actually land, whereas this one can just sort of lie there and exist. It doesn't actually land, it just kind of flops. So yeah. So you have the lower mounted turret, which is using a custom turret controller, so it can be controlled by the gunner seat. And as you can see, this vehicle has 2 seats. So you have your main pilot in there, and then a secondary pilot at the back. So let me just get... Okay, so this is the view from the gunner's seat at the back. So you have a decent view of everything in front of you. And then this is the view from the seat at the front. So you have your gravity, you have your fuel amount, you have your weather display, you have your speed, you have your heat stuff, and you have your horizon line system. And visually, from the inside, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And then we come to the passenger compartment. Now, the passenger compartment is a lovely system that actually deploys from the underbelly of this craft. There is no door. There is no door to actually enter the passenger compartment. Instead, the entire section lowers down from underneath the ship. And if I, let's see, press that and get in there, you can see that it goes back in just like that. And that's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. And you've got a few decorative blocks on the inside. You can see the pistons behind. This entire space, as you can probably tell by the lower left display, is pressurized, 100% fully pressurized. So everything in here is fully pressurized, and obviously because of Space Engineers mechanics, it does let you get out of the seat, so you just pop out the side. If you actually want to use this in a situation where you're landing and letting people off, there is a control system in the cockpit that you can press to lower this entire system, and you can get out and press it on here. And realistically speaking, from the inside of this, if I look here very quickly, you can see these buttons here on the top of this section. This is the internal unlocking method for this. Not that you can reach them from the passenger seats, because Space Engineers isn't like that, but in reality you could, those 4 people in those 4 passenger seats could reach behind them and slam that button to open the entire thing, which I think is pretty cool. Then you have, if we look under here, this is where the survival kit is for this dropship. You have, again, 4 hydrogen tanks, 2 on each side as the nacelles, and then 2 oxygen tanks. All of that is linked into the main system. Now, unlike this dropship, which has these 2 massive hydrogen thrusters at the back, this one only has these hydrogen thrusters under here, and these under the wings, and then these under the thrusters at the back. So it has a little less elevation thrust, but it is still able to hover in planetary gravity of 1.0, So it is perfectly capable of managing itself in that environment. And because of these massive thrusters at the back, it is perfectly capable of taking off from planetary gravity. Not as effectively as this thing, but this thing is obsolete now, because it is too large for my taste. Black Knight, thank you for the 50 bits. Thank you very much. I forget that it makes that noise. But yes, so this is the Auriga class dropship. I'm actually really happy with it. It took a while to get to this point. There were a few false starts before we managed to get to this. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got that nice tapered tail. The tail fins are kind of cool. You've got the adjustable wings, and if we quickly hop into this pilot seat and press number 9, and we can lift her up a little bit, you can see, press number 5, those wings adjust into a horizontal plane, so that this can actually have a bit of an easier time flying in gravity, when using the aerodynamics mod, of course, and then when it wants to land, and obviously that rear landing gear section also retracts. So if we press that button, you can see it coming down there. Then we can press that to do that, and to unlock the passenger undercarriage, and you can see that because we're not locked to the ground, it actually extends a little further than it would usually. And while the passenger carriage is lowered, the thrusters that are on it do not fire. So it can impact onto the ground without any problem, even in like various other situations. It can manage that pretty well. When this ship is landed, actually, it doesn't actually need to settle on its landing gear to settle. What it can do, in fact, is it can essentially balance on that little central section, that sort of that passenger section. It can balance, and the pistons actually compress to maintain its balance on that middle section, which means that it doesn't actually need to land properly. It can just drop and lower the passenger section to lift itself up, which is kind of cool. Now, obviously, there is also the matter of how well does it handle for actually doing re-entry? And the answer is pretty well, but that depends on whether you've got aerodynamics on. Again, if you have aerodynamics on, you're going to need to slow down a little bit on re-entry, because otherwise you'll turn into a fireball. Same with exiting the atmosphere. If you go a little too fast out of the atmosphere, you go pop. But that is true for pretty much any ship, in fairness. So all of this section, all of this is heavy armor at the front to ease that that amount of heat that is splaying onto the front of the ship. I should probably make these heavy armor and this heavy armor as well, but I haven't gotten around to fine-tuning it. But for the most part, it is complete, and I'm pretty happy with it. There are plenty of seats, again, like the previous one, going mostly by the original setup, the original brief that we had for this ship. 12 passengers and 2 pilots. Or 1 pilot and 1 gunner in this instance, that can be in there. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this ship, is that in order to pressurize this section of the build, I've had to use a keen airlock, which if we enter this, you can see these two window pieces here, technically they count as a fully pressurized block. They're not. They just count like one. So technically that is not pressurized. However, I couldn't find a way to install a hatch on the roof of this vehicle, because technically speaking what should happen is this entire front section here should lift out of the way. It should lift up and slide back, kind of. So like this section here should lift up and then slide back to about there. It doesn't do that, because sadly that's not how merge blocks work, and in order to pressurize something it has to be merge block. So what I would actually prefer it to do is this section here would lift up on a hinge, but merge blocks don't work particularly well with that either, unfortunately. So at the moment all I can really do is enter through these tiny little slits. So technically speaking, you are meant to climb the wings to get up onto the ship, but again, keen airlock technology, you can also get in from here if you really need to. There's this tiny little gap. This technically counts as a fully pressurized block. Don't ask me why. This technically counts as a fully pressurized block. Again, don't ask me why. It means that there's a tiny gap there. Technically, this is what it should look like. I mean, technically, if I could, I'd have like tiny little, like actually shaped to this kind of shape on the hull pieces, but I can't. Not allowed to do that. So instead it just looks like this, and it has some tiny gaps. Tiny gaps which are technically pressurized, but you know, there is only so much I can do about that. So yeah, that is the Auriga class dropship. I am tempted to throw it up on the workshop within the next few weeks, maybe. Tell me what you guys think. I would love to know. There is a decent amount of why is your stream playing two sources of audio suddenly? I have no idea, Luca. You got me there. I am noticing that my KBS is fluctuating a lot tonight, and I'm a little worried about that. So I'm currently at 3.1 drop frames. I'm hoping it won't be much of a problem, but I'm not sure. It's very bouncy, it's not stable. I need to get a wired connection, is the thing. I need to get a wired connection to my computer, an Ethernet connection. And it's something I need to do at some point. It's fine now, but I heard you double for a second. Don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, so overall, I'm pretty happy with this ship. I'm probably going to throw it up on the workshop. I'm not sure if I want to do any more aesthetic work to it. I might. There is definitely like some parts of this ship are a little too smooth for my taste. Like this back section is just flat, and I feel like we could do something about that. This underside section originally had beam blocks in it, but those don't pressurize, and the seats inside don't pressurize either, so I had to switch those out for these. What else? I'm not sure about the turret on top. Obviously, Keen has problems with this. The Auriga, Luca. So the chariot constellation, which I think is appropriate for a dropship. What's the space station you're building on? Oh, this? This is the Ghost Industries Mars construction station. It is a pretty big shipbuilding station, essentially. And it is stationed above Mars's moon. The moon is actually really close. Not quite in planetary gravity, but almost. So we're kind of in low orbit around Mars's moon. I think that's Mars, anyway. Yeah, that's Mars. But yeah, I'm going to throw this up on the workshop at some point. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Oh yeah, obviously we have lights in the wings, and there is a spotlight on the turret as well, which the turret user can use. Is it on the workshop? Not yet. Not yet, Black Knight. It will be. Maybe within the next week or so. It'll join my other Ghost Industries bits and pieces. But as of yet, it is not. So it'll probably end up there in about a week or two, hopefully. But that is very, very much on the hopefully end of things, because I am bad at remembering to put stuff on the workshop. There is an extensive number of blueprints that have not ended up on the workshop. Like an extensive number. There are a lot. And some of those should probably be on the workshop, but I've just forgotten to put them up there, and I've forgotten that they exist. Actually, I'll tell you one that does need to go up on the workshop. What's it called? The Final Offer. The Final Offer should technically be on the workshop, but it is not. So I'm not going to paste this in, but I will show it off on the screen. Ooh, yeah, you're a small grid and you don't like being placed in. Yeah, this is the Final Offer. Missing a few blocks here and there because the mods for it aren't in. But yeah, she's very big. She is a two-masted steamship with a variety of accoutrements and hidden bits and pieces, including but not limited to the deck actually flips up to reveal the cargo hold. You've got a full set of functioning rotors, or engines rather. You've got rudders on the back, which I haven't installed yet. Like, this thing isn't quite finished. I do want to put it up on the workshop. It is meant to work with the it's meant to work with the water mod. So it is functionally buoyant for water mod requirements. At least it was last time I checked, because this entire section under here is completely sealed. Or it was. Actually, this might be the non-buoyant version because the water mod switched over from using tanks, and this one was functionally water mod buoyant at the time. It was also a hydrogen bomb, which, you know, is a thing. Definitely a thing. So yeah. But yeah. So today what I actually want to work on is Bob. This is Bob. Bob was what we made in the last session, if you will. And I was not happy with this ship. I conceded to Lying's victory on the last thing. On our last build v build, because I was not happy with this ship. It looks It looks awful. This thing looks awful. Not happy about this one. Would very much like to change some stuff up with Bob here. Possibly rip out the entire thing and start again, because I'm not happy with it. I'm not quite happy with it yet. So I'm gonna quickly delete that. So we'll get to that in a minute. For the moment though, I'm gonna go and grab my cup of tea, which I think finished boiling like 5 minutes ago. And I will be right back. And I return. I have a giant cookie. Giant cookie. This is good. Lovely. I don't know what Little does with their giant cookies, but they feel slightly fried, and I like that. Okay, so we were going to work on an alternate version of Bob. Hey, Line. So, what don't I like about this ship? Everything. I hate everything about this ship. And I know that might seem cruel, but I really don't like this ship. When I was building it, I redesigned it halfway through, and then I went, no, I don't like this. And then I was just like, no, I don't like how this looks. And I redesigned it, and I went, I kind of like how this looks, but not really. And then I designed this section on top, and I was like, I don't like this. None of this is working for me. Like, this front section is fine for the most part, but all of this just doesn't work, and it's provided so little space inside it for me to actually work with. Plus, like, it's missing a bunch of stuff that realistically it could have. Like a gravity generator and a jump drive. It's missing proper accommodation. It's missing a decent layout for the systems. This entire thing is just, it's so weirdly laid out. I don't like it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrap it and start again. For like the 20 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes that I have left before Lying arrives. Now, the thing that I do like about this is the cargo modules. I'm not 100% a fan of the cargo modules, but I do like them. However, I think we can make this better. I think we can make this a lot better. Sorry, I was taking a bite of my cookie. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take some inspiration from Lying. So one of the things that I quite liked about the way Lying did his vessel, and I don't have a copy of the vessel, but I do remember what it looked like, is that his cargo, or their cargo containers, were placed, instead of being like one massive block in the middle, or like in this case slightly below the middle, they were placed at angles. You had one here, one here, one here, and one here, and then the core of the ship down the middle. And I quite like that. Instead of having them all like underneath, they were all out to the side, and that was quite a good idea, I thought. So, what I'm thinking is, instead of making these in modules of 4, we make them in modules of 2. Sorry, I'm munching. Now, in order to do this, we need a base cargo container, then a small cargo container, and another base cargo container. So we have this, and then we have another one of it on the other side. And then we do kind of the same thing that we have here, a row of 7. But we have them on each side instead of underneath, which I think will work a lot better overall. Now, one thing that I still want is I still want one of these cargo pods to be dropped from orbit. So, obviously, parachutes. Parachutes are kind of necessary for that. They're going to need power. And they're going to need to be connected to the ship. So, in order to connect them to the ship, we put a connector there, and for power, we will put a battery there. So that central section is connection and power. What else do we have on here? We have oxygen. Why do we have it in oxygen? Why would we need an oxygen tank? We wouldn't. We don't need it. Well, next up, we can put in these pieces, make that section a little more visual. We're going to want to cap the bottom and the top. But since we don't have any proper caps, we're just going to use pistons or piston heads. The bottom, the top, and the sides. Yep, that looks fine. Twitch doesn't like you today? Oh no. I hope that's not a problem that's on my end, Luca, because I am dropping frames, and I'm a little worried that might be causing a problem for you guys. My upload keeps fluctuating as well, really badly. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, no, that's not mine. At least I don't think that's mine. I will confirm. Give me a second. No idea. No idea. It must be just a Twitch thing being Twitch. Twitch being Twitchy as usual. Okay. I want the other end cap for these tubes. Is it this one? Yes. Yeah. That's a bit better. Okay. And we want the yellow Peace.